Hi guys, it's Coach Robin with Journey to Fitness. I thought I might go live tonight. I thought I would go live tonight and sort of reflect on parenting a little bit. Considering my middle daughter had her prom, so I've got two just about out of high school now and graduated. So 2 down, 1 to go. And I just was reflecting, and I posted earlier about how grateful I am that the kids want to come here. They confide in us. They don't like hide things from us, and even the kids' friends feel comfortable coming to us and staying here and that kind of thing. And you know, I grew up and my parents were really strict. If everyone else was allowed out till 11, I was only allowed out till 10. If you were allowed to hang out at the schoolyard, I wasn't allowed. And so that made me want to have my kids young, because I felt like they didn't understand where I was coming from. Like, they were so old school compared to what I was that they didn't get it. So I wanted to get it. So when my kids were young, I kind of was in this much more anal, stressy, like anxiety type of parent, just because it's new, and I was 19 or 20 when I had Caitlin. So you know, it's a learning curve. You don't really know. And I find that obviously most people will probably agree that as you have more kids, you just become more lenient, because they wear you down. Like, there's no bones about it. They wear you down. Whatever was super important with the first one, by the time the third one rolls around, you're just like, yeah, whatever. As long as you're safe and whatever, it's fine. So that's kind of how that went. And so when my oldest two were sort of in the preteen times, I got some really good advice from my friend, whose mom was super lenient with her, and well, not super lenient, but just super understanding, I guess is the thing. And she was kind of saying to me, like, if you get upset about every little thing, then they're not going to come to you and trust you with the big things, right? So also, you know, if what was I going to say? I had a thought, now I lost it. It's been that kind of weekend. Oh God, what is wrong with me? I feel like I got more sleep last night than I have for the last week. I had about 4 hours sleep the whole week, and then prom night was a little crazy, and the girls were here last night, but I was like, I'm going to bed. I need to sleep. So yeah. The big things. They're not going to trust you with the big things. Oh yeah. And then you want to make sure that your kids feel like you have their back no matter what, right? Like, you don't want your kids to see you as the person they can't talk to, the person they can't tell what's happening. Like, I want my kids to feel like, okay, if you frigged up, you messed up, you still can come to me and it's not going to be the end of the world, right? Like, no matter what happens, it's fixable, unless it's something like, you know, if they were drinking and driving or something like that, and that kind of thing. But again, that's a different thing, where you instill that in your kid, where it's just unacceptable, and you set an example. So if me and Sean were going out, a party or whatever, we always would make a point of having our drive planned beforehand. Like, my thing is, if you're going to be indulging, then you need to have your plan in place. Don't go out, indulge, and then be stuck without a drive or whatever. But that's kind of a whole different subject. But yeah, so she gave me that advice, and I started to sort of implement it. And I gotta say, like, you always hear people complain about, oh God, teenage girls especially, whatever. And honestly, I love them now. Like, I enjoy them now better than I did when they were little, because they're not hanging off me, they're independent, but I feel like they are, like, they have a head on their shoulders. They're not gonna go do a bunch of stupid things. Of course they do, some do stupid things. We all do as teenagers. We just don't have the world experience or the life experience to prevent us from doing it. You think everything's gonna be fine. You think you can pull whatever off. You're not gonna get caught, or all those kinds of things. But mine have been super good. Like, I love them now. I think they're great. I always love them, obviously, but I enjoy them now. It's like having my best friends in the house. Like, I am friends with my kids. And I know that I always see posts where people are like, I'm not your friend, I'm your parent, blah, 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 you don't have to like me. But I feel like if your kids don't like you, they're probably not going to confide in you and trust you to have their back. Like, our family is like a team, and like, they know that I have their back no matter what. you know, like, and sometimes that means holding your tongue and trying to really taking all it takes, taking everything it takes in your mind to sort of go back to where you were at that age, and kind of, sometimes you want to say something or make them do it your way, but you got to kind of hold your tongue and let them do it on their own and figure it out on their own. And they have to make mistakes that have actual consequences other than your rules and your punishment sort of consequences. And sometimes, a lot of times, when they make a mistake, there are naturally occurring consequences, and sometimes that's enough to, a lot of times I feel like that's enough. Like, you did it, this is, you have to deal with the fallout. Like, me punishing you isn't really serving anything except to make you not trust me, right? So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I'm just feeling super grateful that the kids were comfortable and they stayed here they came on, the kids were in and out, all different kids were in and out since Friday morning. And they kind of went out, they went to prom, they came back here and changed, then they went to a party, then they all crashed back here, and then they were here yesterday, and they went out and came back and spent another night here, and we all were just kind of, me and Sean and the kids and Emma, like all different ages, and we were all just sitting around hanging out. And you know, I feel like maybe some parents, the kids wouldn't be necessarily as comfortable sitting around with them and saying certain things in front of them and whatever, but I just try to remember what it was like when I was a kid and had to hide everything. And I really was so, after going through that myself, I just feel like I really, really don't want my kids to feel like they have to hide anything from me. So if I get mad about every little thing, then they're not going to trust me and come to me. So they know, they never really rebelled because they didn't have anything to rebel against, right? So I know it's very, like, your natural instinct is to stop them from doing something stupid or control them, not let them out, not let them do this and that. But at the same time, like, I know when I was that age, I thought I knew everything, and I was pretty capable of, you know, taking care of myself to a point. And, you know, I think if we just teach them good values and, you know, how to make good choices and stuff like that, then you kind of have to let them go out and trust them that they're going to do the right thing. I know that I believe that, you know, we bring them into the world not to keep them down and, you know, protect them from everything, but to teach them good values and coping skills and skills in life, and then let them go and do their thing. Like, it's not our job to hold them down, it's our job to teach them and let them fly and discover and create and do all their stuff. So that is just my thought after reflecting on prom and the kids being around. And I don't know, I just thought I would go live and talk about it since it's been on my heart for the whole weekend. And yeah, so I hope everyone else is having a good weekend. If your kids' prom is coming up, have patience because you're gonna need it. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.